Belt with Evolved Outdoor, and I'm going to talk to you today about 7 costly mistakes that I see homeowners make when they're doing a backyard remodel project. Mistake number 1 is when they start with plants instead of a plan. A lot of people just go and grab plants from a nursery, don't really think about rhyme or reason of where they're going to place them in the yard, how large they're going to grow, and so forth. It's really important that you do plan out your planter spaces, the planter beds, because plants are just as important as hardscape. The number 2 mistake that I see people doing is talking to contractors a little bit too early before they've really laid out what key elements they want to see in a yard. You have to figure out, do you want a pool? Do you want a spa? Do you want some type of fire feature such as a fireplace or fire pit? Do you want a barbecue? Do you want that barbecue to be pretty simple or more elaborate, like a large kitchen? Do you need shade in the yard? How's that going to be provided? Maybe with a pergola, maybe with the proper tree. So there's many different things. You may not know the answers to those questions of how those elements are going to come to be, but just knowing that you might want those elements. Maybe you want an area where kids can play long games, something like that. Number 3 mistake that I see people is skipping that lifestyle step. You really need to sit back and think, if you had your dream backyard, how would you be using it? Would other families be coming over with young kids? You're entertaining both adults and children? Would you want a place to sit and dine? Or is it more important to have cushion furniture where you can sit around a fire pit? Do you have young kids, older kids? Do you have pets? How big are the pets? What kind of space do they need outside? Do you want to be able to go out and have a relaxing retreat, kind of like a park-like backyard? Maybe you want some water features, or maybe you don't have time to maintain a water feature, so that's something that you don't want. So definitely think about how you would live in that backyard and what kind of elements you would want to see out there. The other part, number 4, would be ignoring sun and shade, not watching where the sun rises in the morning, sets in the afternoon. Is your backyard facing due west or south where maybe it's being hit with just really hard sun all day long? Maybe you have more of a north exposure where it's really shadowed and kind of cooler and you don't even need a patio cover or an umbrella. So just think about that sun and shade in those exposures and how those are going to impact you when you're out there entertaining. Also, the number 5, another big mistake is just designing without zones. That's where a landscape designer doing a great layout for you will come up with zones. You're going to have a lounge area, maybe a dining space, a lawn and play area, maybe some garden beds if you want to garden and do like a little salsa garden, pathways. All of these zones need to be connected and flow into one another so that they can be used, but they also need to have their own identified areas. Number 6 mistake is underestimating the real budget. There's a lot of things that go into a backyard remodel that people don't think about. There's going to be new irrigation, possibly new drains. Maybe the existing drains, if you're reworking an existing backyard, are just shot, full of tree roots and so forth. Low voltage lighting. The labor part of it, demoing, if you have an existing pool that's being removed, or maybe you have a patio cover that's old, needs to be removed. The labor to remove any existing patio covers, concrete and so forth, has to be in that budget too, along with site prep, prepping the soil and so forth. So there are things that are going to go into the budget, that it's not just the pool or just the patio cover, but it's the prep getting to those items also. And lastly, number 7, trying to figure out everything alone. So, with a landscape design, it's going to blend the proper architecture, planning, the plant material, budget, and everything kind of coming together, taking all of your wishes and wants and making them flow into a plan. Also, a lot of times people need to phase plan. Sometimes you kind of know what you want, but you're going to be doing this in 2 phases, maybe 3 phases. So a landscape designer can help you properly lay out the proper phase planning and what materials to use if you're going to be putting in that pool or spa later, or maybe adding a patio cover later. And that's it. So click on the link to download my free guide called the Backyard Remodel Starter Kit.